Well, I say good morning. I don't know, it's Don Airy here with another main story for you. And I say good morning. I don't know what time of day it is that you're looking at this particular video, but it's morning here, and it's always cheerful to say good morning. I say good morning to people sometimes in mid-afternoon, just because it sounds more cheerful to say good morning than good afternoon. But I'm feeling kind of philosophical about marriage this morning. Not particularly about my marriage in particular, just marriage in general. It can be an awful funny subject, because of the tensions between two people trying to live together for the rest of their lives. It's just sort of like Virgil and Bernadette, his wife. They get along pretty good, but sometimes it's like two cats in a bag. Virgil kind of joked with Harvey, his best friend Harvey. He says, "My pet name for Bernadette is Yes Dear." He says he gave up a long time ago trying to convince Bernadette of anything. He'd try to have an idea, and she would just kind of shoot that idea like with a 12-gauge shotgun. She'd shoot that idea down so hard that it looked like the idea was always dead. It wasn't even worth mentioning. And so he just, yes, dear. Whatever you say, dear. Whatever you want, dear. Sure thing. Oh, that sounds like a wonderful idea, dear. That's the way he was with her. And so they're going along. They would take, Virgil and Bernadette would take Harvey grocery shopping, because one thing, Harvey didn't have a driver's license. He had reading dysfunction. Harvey wasn't that bright. Like I say, he was an awful nice guy, man, a good character, but he wasn't that bright. So he couldn't get a driver's license, and so all with his reading difficulties made it so when he was down at the grocery store, he'd get taken, by all of the signs, and if it looked like something new and improved, he'd buy it kind of spontaneous, and impulsively, and he was spending way too much money, and they knew what was going on, and so they would kind of advise him, along, and he'd pay for his stuff, and they'd pay for their own, but they'd kind of help him out a bit, and it saved him a lot of money. But on this one particular day, as was a usual thing for Virgil, he would get a shopping cart because he'd be the one to give him something to do when he'd go shopping. It was like he felt it was the man's job to push the shopping cart, because otherwise, what would you be doing? You'd walk around there with your hands in your pockets, feeling like an idiot, So he feeling like he had something to do, he'd push the shopping cart. But it always seemed like he'd get a shopping cart that had one of them wheels that would, be out of kilter. The wheels are out of alignment, and so you're pushing a shopping cart, and it'd be, pulling itself off to the left or off to the right, or all of a sudden one of the wheels would just bind up and stop on you, just ornery, just an ornery shopping cart. And it always seemed like he'd get one of them. It never fail, He'd give him a test push, and it seemed like it was okay. But by the time he got out into the aisle, it would act that way. He was like he was under a curse, And he was kind of feeling rather philosophical this one particular day, and he was with Harvey. Harvey was kind of next to him there with with his little shopping cart. He got one of them smaller ones, which are newer, and they didn't pay that way because they were newer. The big ones, they tended to have a few years on them. And he says, Harvey, I've been thinking. And Harvey says, I do that sometimes too. He says, no, I mean, I've been thinking about, the difference between a married man and a shopping cart. And Harvey says, really, Virgil, I don't really see what you're talking about. And he says, well, what do you think the difference is between the average married man and a shopping cart? Virgil, he tried to concentrate, tried to think about it. He says, no, I can't see anything that there's any similarities at all between the average married man and a shopping cart. And he says, well, Virgil says, after a few years, a shopping cart develops a mind of its own.